Hello and welcome to Recap Master. Zoe Reynard seeks the help of therapist Dr. Marcella Spencer, a specialist in sexual addiction. Zoe hopes to keep this meeting discreet as she recalls the events that led to her current situation. 6 months prior, she enjoyed a loving marriage to Jason and had 2 children. Despite having satisfying sex with Jason, Zoe still felt a sense of dissatisfaction afterward. Seeking release, she would retreat to the living room, where she engaged with pornography and used a vibrator for self-pleasure. Zoe also ran her own art gallery company, Zoe & Company, with her best friend and assistant Brina. One day, Brina introduces Zoe to Quentin Canosa's work, and Zoe becomes intrigued by his art. At an exhibit featuring Quentin's work, Zoe meets him, finding him both attractive and charming. Quentin's flirtatious behavior makes Zoe uneasy yet intrigued. They exchange contact information, planning to meet again. Zoe continues to engage in various illicit affairs, often lying about her whereabouts to her mother, who thinks she is simply going to the grocery store when she actually goes to clubs. Despite her guilt, Zoe engages in shower sex with Jason but dreams of Quentin that same night. Zoe visits Quentin's studio to discuss signing a contract with her company. However, Quentin attempts to seduce her, and after initially resisting, Zoe gives in to his charms and allows him to perform oral sex on her. These sexual pursuits and subsequent guilt begin to affect Zoe's work and family life. She neglects her son's soccer games and becomes absent-minded at work, failing to follow up with important clients. Her employee, Brina, confronts her about this decline in performance, expressing disappointment. Zoe visits Quentin again, intending to end the affair. However, she encounters a woman named Diamond at Quentin's place, who seems familiar with Zoe's situation. Quentin shows Zoe some of his street art and opens up about his past, revealing his desire for companionship. Zoe, feeling conflicted, gives in to their desires and engages in sexual activity with Quentin once again. Zoe's affair with Quentin continues, further straining her relationship with her family and work life. She allows Quentin to paint her in the nude before engaging in intimate encounters. In the present, Dr. Spencer diagnoses Zoe with a powerful sex addiction, comparing it to drug addiction. She suggests that Zoe propose couples counseling to Jason. Zoe approaches Jason, expressing her desire to seek therapy to improve their sex life, but Jason refuses, objecting to paying for professional help. Quentin, still involved with Zoe, asks her to leave Jason and be with him. Despite her attraction to Quentin, Zoe declines, as she still loves Jason. However, this does not prevent her from attracting the attention of another man, Corey, whom she engages in sexual activities within a club bathroom. Zoe relays this to Dr. Spencer, admitting her enjoyment of the encounter. Zoe continues the affair with Corey whenever she cannot be with Quentin. The consequences of her actions become evident as she loses the trust of her son and her work performance suffers, causing dissatisfaction among her employees and Brina. During a confrontation at Quentin's place, Zoe discovers him having sex with Diamond, which infuriates her. She storms out, leaving Quentin confused. Jason confronts Zoe at home, expressing his frustration with her constant absence and the missed family moments. Zoe attempts to shift blame onto Jason, mentioning his late work hours. However, Jason reminds her that he always informs her of his whereabouts. Zoe returns to Quentin's place again, but their encounter is interrupted by Jason's unexpected arrival. Zoe hides as Jason meets with Quentin, unaware of their previous encounters. While inspecting Quentin's artwork, Jason stumbles upon a covered painting featuring Zoe and Quentin in a sexual position. Before he can uncover it, Jason is called away for business. Zoe questions Quentin's intention to prevent Jason from discovering the painting. Excluded from her family's activities, Zoe feels isolated as Jason takes their children to the movies without her. Additionally, Quentin sends over a sculpture as a gift after Jason mentions Zoe's admiration for his work. At Dr. Spencer's suggestion, Zoe arranges a meeting with both Quentin and Corey to end their affairs. Corey becomes annoyed and tries to confront Zoe physically, but Quentin intervenes. Corey decides to leave, but Quentin attacks him with a sculpture, knocking him unconscious. Quentin then advances toward Zoe, but she shatters glass on the floor, causing him to step on it and cut his feet. Zoe hides behind Quentin's paintings, fearing for her safety. He searches for her, wielding a sharp object. However, before he could harm her, Jason appeared out of nowhere, saved her, and then was gone. Diamond enters and tends to Quentin's injuries. Zoe follows Jason, who has left Quentin's place. She attempts to talk to him, but he reveals that he is leaving her and taking the kids, stating that she is dead to him. Devastated, Zoe decides to walk into oncoming traffic, but Jason rushes to her side, preventing her from doing so. Over the next few months, Zoe recovers in the hospital, while her family anxiously waits for her. Her company ultimately shuts down, and Diamond takes care of Quentin in her absence. During her hospital stay, Zoe has a flashback to a traumatic childhood experience where she was raped by 3 boys, a topic she has avoided discussing with Dr. Spencer. Eventually, Zoe is allowed to return home, and her children are overjoyed to see her. However, Jason is still hurt and cannot pretend that everything is okay. In an effort to address her addiction, Zoe attends a sex addicts support group recommended by Dr. Spencer. There, Zoe opens up about her traumatic past, including her childhood rape. To her surprise, Jason emerges from the next room and hears her confession. Overwhelmed with emotions, Zoe breaks down in tears, acknowledging her problem but expressing her love for Jason and her desire to make their relationship work. Jason approaches her, offering comfort and understanding. They embrace and share their motto, reaffirming their eternal love for each other.